Hold on, don't record yet. Hold on. Okay, thank you so much. So today we're going to kind of look into this framework that we built, and thanks to everybody that have shown their screen. So it's good to actually show that people are also following, they are also building what you ask them to do anyway. So the first thing that I want to talk about is at this point here, you have your solution. So I'll be talking about right click on your solution. So you can see this one has got solution, right? And this one is your project. Inside your project, you can have, inside your solution, you can have as a lot of projects, right? So it's not going to be only one. So from if you are working in a place, they can have lot of projects inside the solution. Bear that in mind, right? For instance, let's say this is BlueSky Citadel, right? This can be Mentor Skid. It can also be prep major. It can be the charity application, or we can have different ones and say, oh, this is mentor skills. Another one can be here for charity application. Another one can be here. So we can have as many. So it's just a matter of clicking here and saying add. So if you add, and you can add a new project. So that project will be under it. So you can now switch to what project you want. So, but for now, to make it simple, we only have one project that we have, right? So under that project, you now have dependencies, right, that you have here. You did not create it. This is created automatically, right? But you can actually inspect. The most part that you want to ensure that you see is the packages level, because when you're adding the Nugget packages, they are going into this section, right? You can see we have, even when we created our projects, this one would is automatically added, right? And we have Playwright that we also added as well. And NUnit, we added this at the point of creation, right? So, and the same thing, these two is added at the same time. So rec and row, we also added it at the yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4 were added automatically for us. And then we added the Playwright later, right? So this is your packages that we have, right? And you can see for those guys that are familiar to Selenium, right, or SpecFlow, let me ask question. What other packages would you see here if it were Selenium?
You see the Selenium WebDriver.
Okay, yeah, okay. You see instead of the Playwright, you see WebDriver. Which
Yes.
other
You,
one?
s- you will see support,
You will
Selenium
see
support,
support. Yeah, you see Selenium support, which is still part of Selenium. Yeah, okay. Which other package will you see as well?
and you will see rec and roll.
Actually,
Yeah.
adapter.
Yeah, you will see rec and roll if you're using rec.
Yeah,
Yeah, as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's another thing. Which other package would you see?
You see
Uh,
Selenium Chrome driver.
Yeah, I think that is one that is totally different in this instance, right?
Yeah.
So all those ones that you guys mentioned, for instance, rec and roll, we have it here, right? Selenium WebDriver, so we are not using Selenium, we are using Playwright. So Selenium support, everything is on Playwright, right? So as you are using Selenium, we are using Playwright. Selenium support, Microsoft Playwright. That is what we have. So the only thing that is totally different from Selenium now is that we do not have any any browsers here, right? For instance, there's no Chrome, there's no Firefox, right? So we don't have that as a package. If you're using Selenium, you will have added it as a package. Then the question is that why did we not have it? Does anyone know why we don't have that?
Because you use the Chromium that you downloaded on the through the PowerShell.
Thank you so much. So when we did the PowerShell command, the browser was added. Let me see. Yeah. So when you do something like this, the playwright.ps and you install, that installed the Chromium. Let me see if I can actually show that to you. Right. Oh, it's not going to break anything anyway. So, and oh, it's not going to be there anyway because I don't think that location is there. So let me see. Yeah. So,
Cool.
okay. All right. Let's see that one. Okay. I just want to see where the location is anyway. So okay, all right. So CD. Okay. Well, okay, hold on. I think I can even, yeah, let's go into this one. Copy part. CD. Okay. So then if I run the, okay, let's say it's that one. I think it's the one level. Yeah, that bin is there. Bin, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that one is there. Right. So let's see CD again. Oh, sorry. CD bin. CD debug. CD.net. Just to see where that one is in Playwright. Right. So the let's list the IR this time around. So if you don't get this one, though, you don't need to worry. This is just command. Yeah, instead of looking at the window command. So let's see if you have the playwright here. Playwright PST is there anyway. So why is it not running? Okay, let's just do it from here. The term that is not recognized, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, maybe is it a different account? Maybe I'm on a different account, right? Okay, so if you have issues like this, right? So let me even ask, what do you think is the problem? Because we've seen a lot of things like this before. What do you think is the issue? But we know that the playwright is there anyway. But I'm not able to do this. Does anyone know? It's a common one that we solved, which is the big one, right? Yeah. Okay.
Something hasn't been installed.
Sorry?
Hasn't been installed.
Yeah. So basically, the issue is the PowerShell, actually, right? So this is PowerShell that's telling me that it cannot see PWS.
Yeah.
So this is PowerShell, yeah, PowerShell, PW, power. PW is power, then shell is SH, right? So it cannot see each one, yeah, because this is a different user that I'm actually using anyway. But I'm going to leave it for now because that's not what I wanted to do. Anyway, but normally if you do this, it's going to tell you there's Chromium, blah, blah, and everything. So you can be able to, you will see that it is going to install the browsers for you anyway. So, okay, let's continue. That is that. The next one we have is the feature files, right? So here now, I want you to do this because I saw a lot of people have got calendar. So we're going to remove it because we are not doing calendar anyway. So let's delete that one, right? Because automatically that is created for us. And if we also delete this one, if you can do that quickly, right? So delete the feature file and also delete the step definition. Okay.
You made the calculator, sir.
The calculator, yeah. Delete the calculator feature file and delete the calculator step definition. Okay. So once that is gone, so we look at the feature login, right? So on a feature, right, most of this is a BDD, right? So and next week, right? After we kind of show our slide, so next week I'll talk about BDD in great detail. I've got a slide that we'll look into, right? So that we can look into that. So there are keywords in BDD, right? You have the feature as a keyword. That is the kind of the umbrella that all scenarios will be in, right? So you have a feature, which is what you are testing. Log into BlueSky Citadel demo, right? Then scenario is what you are using to test it, right? So we are validating user login successfully, right? So, and then for us to be able to validate that, what are we doing? So you have given, which is your precondition, given and navigate. Before I can test this, right, I want to kind of log in or I want to navigate to the login page, right? When I get to login page, then I want to enter username and password. And after that, I want to click on the login button. So now, question, why do I put given there? Why do I put a when there? Why can't I say given when at the top, right? Why do I use that? And also, why do I put a then at the bottom? What is the way? Why do you get now? Because I know that will be some of the questions that some of the newbies will be asking, right? That when do I use given? When do I use when? When do I use then? And in fact, when do I use and as well? Okay, quick question. Anyone?
Given is a precondition. That means you must, for you to be able to execute the scenario, you must navigate to the login page. Then when is the action that you do by entering a valid username and password. Then and is another action that you will do when you click the login button. Then is the outcome, the expected result that you're meant to have.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you so much for that. So, one quick question now, interview question, right? So, if I put a when here, okay, what is the impact of that? And is that right? Is it not right? If it's right, what is it? If it's not right, what exactly is it? Right. This is an interview question. Someone asked me at the interview anyway. And you might not be wrong if you say do you get it now? It's yeah, as long as you are able to motivate it. There are a lot of things in this. Yeah. Does anyone want to give it that a try?
Hello, let me try.
Okay, please go ahead, Gabriel.
I think the first one is not a precondition. That is, let's say, an action that when I, it's not a precondition, not that I'm already on the page, but I'm about to.
Okay, all right, good, good. Any other person that wants to thank you for that anyway? Another person that wants to say, well, Gabriel is saying that, yeah, it's not a precondition, right? Because you are putting a when is an action, right? So, but it should be a precondition, right? Any other person?
It doesn't follow the correct syntax. That's
Okay, it doesn't follow the correct syntax, which is right. And one question is like, if I run this, will it work? Will it run?
no idea.
No idea, which is a
I don't,
good answer.
I don't think it will run.
Why do you think
Because
you're right?
because the system the syntax has been altered
Okay, which is
and
good.
altered
Mm-hmm.
because there's no way the system will access the I mean the website to which it needed to access
Okay.
before we will take an action to navigate to the login page.
Okay, all right. So what you said was totally right, but what you said last actually kind of was a bit of, but it's good to kind of explain what your thought is. Do you get it now? Because then I can be able to kind of correct you. The first search was good anyway. The last side that says that, yeah, it doesn't know how to access it, right? So that one, it's not, yeah. So one thing why this would not work is the fact that, okay, let me even ask another question. What's the difference between the purple color and the blue and the white color here?
The purple color shows that it's
The
not
purple
blank.
Step definition.
Okay.
The purple color shows that the step definition has not been
Good. Bring it on. Yeah, close. Yeah, that's what
it's not binding on the
Thank-
feature file.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is not binding, right? So for it to be bound, you have to have the same action against the same text. Do you get it now? So it means that it's still not able to locate it. Okay. Let's now assume that I then went into the step definition and I correct it. Do you get it now? Which I can do, right? So if I go into my step definition and I change this to when, right, instead of a given, that will bind, right, to my feature file. So if I save this, another thing is when it's, if you come here and you can see it's not real binding, it also happens like that as well, right? It's not like real time. You have to save, right? And sometimes also clean for it to take effect. Okay, you need to know that anyway. So then let me then clean and build, right? So when you are changing the code is like real time. But if you are changing feature file, you need to do this anyway. So yeah, so hopefully I'm expecting this to change to white, right, instead of purple. So also when you are running your build, always look at the output section, okay? And look here to ensure that this is finished. So you can see when it's finished, it changes to white. So
White.
now the question is that
What is up? I don't know, please. What does binding mean? What do you mean by binding?
okay, it means that this, this is English, right? So at the back of this, this is actually connecting to a code, right? So when you run this line, what is actually running is this particular code here. This code, right? Given or now is when I navigate, it's going to run this code, right? So what it means here, if we say it's not binding, it means that it has looked into all the step definition. It was not able to find a corresponding program or method that is attributed to that line. Because initially it was a when that was there, and we changed it to, it was a given rather, and we changed it to a when. Do you get it now? And it goes into our step definition and it's not able to find it again. Do you get it now? So because of that, it's not binding, right? Does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense, I'm happy to still explain again.
Yeah, because I see many Wednesday, Wednesday now. Which one do you know this is the particular one that is
Okay,
affected?
that is
I'm
good.
seeing about 2.
Yeah, you can see this when has got this when I navigate. Do you get it now? So
Yeah.
which is that one when I navigate. Do you get it now? If you go to the next one,
Okay.
when I enter valid, So and you can see when I enter valid username, that is the one for that one. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
So the next one, right, which is interesting, when I click on login button. So here you will see it as an and I click on login button. Actually, this and is a when. So I can decide to say and it will still bind. Even if I save. Another thing, even because I change it, doesn't mean that it's going to bind. So you need to ensure that you save, right? If you do that, change, save, and I always save all anyway. So then clean and then build. Okay. So it's not going to change anything anyway, unlike before now, right? So as you can see, it's not going to change anything. Now I have when, right? Even if I change this one to and I change this to an and, it will still be fine because this is what is that called in English, guys? Yeah, anyone that if you have a clause and you are combining the clause together with an and, you get it now. What is that called?
Conjunction.
Conjunction.
I don't think it's a conjunction. It's something like something like that. If
But
English,
the preface.
not preface actually. So, predicate, is that the right word, right?
Hmm.
So you have one clause, and that one is like predicate to the another one. Do you get now? Let's put it on if my English is still sound. So give me 1 minute. So let's see. Predicate meaning. So let's say clause, predicate clause or something like that. Okay, yeah, I think it might, oh yeah, it might be right anyway. So yeah, so you can see here, it's saying predicate in grammar is part of a sentence that says something about the subject. Actually, yeah. So if you look at it, a clause is a group of words that combine a subject and a predicate. Anyway, predicate clause, when a clause acts as a predicate of a larger sentence or a clause, and it's called predicate clause. So you get it now. They said the dog barked loudly. The subject is the dog, and then the predicate is barked loudly. You get it now. So technically, what we are saying, if my explanation is right, is that this one here is actually depending on the one at the top. So if I put and there, it means what I'm talking about is this and there is also a when, right? So if you say from here now, when you say, let me bring that example out in terms of the. So for instance, if you say the dog bark loudly. So for instance, if you remove the dog and you say bark loudly, right? Who are you talking about? Is the
The
dog.
dog.
Do you get it now? So that's what, but if you, oh, yeah, so that's what is basically combining. So you say it tells what the subject, the dog, did. Do you get it now? So technically, right here, if you change this one to and, it's not going to be on its own, right? So if you remove this one, you already disjointed it. Do you get it now? If you change this one to a given, it means this one now, it's not a given, right? Because it's the same here right now. If you change this sentence to a lion and you say bark loudly, right? It means it's no longer a dog that you are talking about, it's a lion. Do you get it now? But now in the context of that, if this is a lion now, you say a lion bark loudly. Does it make sense? Right? Does it make sense? Is it correct
Yes.
grammatically?
No,
Yes, it
lions don't
does.
bark.
But grammatically, is that correct?
Bark loudly.
Mm-hmm.
Grammatically is correct. Is
Yes,
correct.
it's correct.
Grammatically is correct. Semantically is not correct, right?
Yes.
Because a lion does not bark, right?
A lion roars.
Thank you. Yeah, some people know their English. A lion roars loudly. Do you get it now? But grammatically, it's okay. But semantically, it doesn't make sense, right? The same thing I'm trying to explain here, right? That if you say something like the one I said now, when I navigate, when I do this, when I that, the code will run, right? Because semantically, it is okay. But, sorry, grammatically, it's okay. But semantically, it doesn't make sense. The flow is not right. So as you can see, I'm trying to run it now, right? So, and it won't complain for me as well, even though it hasn't got a given at the top. Do you get it now? And it's running now. Anyways, let me bring it to this slide. So that is it running here, right? And that's it. So it's failed because of this then clause anyway, like we know. So yeah, so it doesn't make sense. Even right now, if I completely remove this will still work, right? Even though I only got 3 when clauses. Where's my given? Where's my then? Do you get now? That's what you will be asking yourself. But that doesn't mean that it will not run, because grammatically it's fine. But syntactically, right, it's okay. Syntactically it's fine, right? But semantically, in meaning, it doesn't make sense. Do you get it now? And the same thing applies if I now put this one to a then, right? Even though it's not binding now, and I go into my step definition and I change this one to a then. Where's that? Which one is that actually? So this is when I enter username and this one, right? And I change this one to a then. It would then bind, right? Sorry. It would then bind, right? So let's save and then,
Wrong one.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
the wrong one.
Is it the wrong one?
Yeah. It should be when I enter username and password, not when I click the login button.
Oh, okay. So thank you. Let me undo. Okay, thank you. So is this one right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I changed that to a then. So now let me even ask. Okay, let me know. We're going to go. So let's save and build. Okay. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is that, right? So, and maybe I should have done this anyway, and right. So, why do you think this is now purple, right? Why is that purple? It was okay here. So, okay, let's start from here anyway. Would this one run?
Yes.
It
Yes,
will.
it should run.
It will run, right? But does it make sense?
No.
Semantically, that
Yeah, semantically it doesn't make sense,
doesn't make sense.
but syntactically it's fine. It will run. The computer will run it. So what does it saying to you now? What is this one saying? So another thing, all right, for those guys that you can do something like this anyway. So let me quickly, what's that? I think it's, yeah. I think this is this one. Okay, yeah, this is it. Yeah. So you can, yeah, this is another cool thing in I think it's also in all Windows application, right? You can highlight, yeah, you can highlight a column like this and select like that. That's another thing. But you need to press Shift and Alt together, right? For instance, now, if I want to change all this to a given, I can just do like that. And that's it, right? So you can say I don't need to press one. Is something good. It's Shift and your Alt, right?
Alt.
And then use your mouse to highlight, right? For instance, you can use this on Word as well. Shift and Tab. I want to change this one to from I to U, right? I can do the same thing like that anyway. So, but let's go back to where we at anyway. So now you guys have said we can, yeah, we can run this. This will fine, but it's not semantically correct. But now, let's say I now change this one to and, which semantically could be right or not. And let's see. So, but the question I want to ask now, why is this one showing purple when we know purple means it is not binding? Because what I just did, I just changed it to an and. Why do you think it's not showing?
The step definition
Because
does not contain and, so it's not binding with the step definition.
Why?
Because it is hand, so it has to be in the step definition. We have to instruct the step definition that
Don't find any corresponding this in feature file. That's what I think.
Why is it not finding? Because there's one here, there's a when clause. Yeah, there's a when clause that we already have. Right. So when I click on the login, where is it? Is there? There's a when clause here.
I think that should be the last step. That is an expectation, not and again.
No,
What do you mean?
I think the last step, when it was there, on the step definition, we have not changed it. It's still save as then. So now you're changing it to and. You will need to go back to that step definition to change it to, if you scroll down,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, okay, when, yeah, so it is when, so it's still quite different from the and. So we need to change the when
So
to
what?
and. So
Okay.
if you change to
So
and, it should run.
there's no something like that in C#.
The
And
step
Okay.
definition did
Java
not
will allow you.
recognize it.
You don't do that. Yeah, you do keep
Okay.
moving. Yeah, on that. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay, I'll go to bed.
yeah. So what is the? Why is that?
The step definition did not recognize it.
Okay. So guys, if you are not talking to me, can you be muted so that we are not loud? So yeah. Okay. So in this instance now, just for the sake of time,
Predicate.
so what is this clause? Is it a when, given, or a then clause?
It's a when clause.
Why?
When I click.
Okay, is that what you need to look at when you are looking at it, whether it's a when clause?
I think it's a then because
Why?
of the line before.
Exactly. When you are using an and, I said an and actually take his action or whatever from the one that follows it. Do you get it now? Because it's an and here, it will look up and say, the one following it is a then clause. So therefore, it's going to be a then.
The and is not a predicate to the
Sorry?
the and is not a predicate to the then clause above it.
Yes, exactly. So now, because here, I am using a when clause. But here, because it's an and following a then clause, this is a then, technically. Do you get it now? Because you need to understand this concept because you are going to be copying and pasting feature files, feature lines. Do you get it now? And sometimes when people copy and paste, they say it's not binding, but it's not because it's not binding, it's because you've copied a when clause. For instance, now, when I put it here, you can see what's going to happen now. When I put here, see, it's fine. Do you get this now? When I put it here, it is fine because this is a when clause. And when is followed by and, it means it's a when clause. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So when you're using an and, it takes the one that at the top of it. And that is what the action is. Do you get it now? If I put an and here, so what is that?
That's another then.
That's another then. Right? So, and can I do something like this? Can I say and here? And I put blah, 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 something like that. Is that possible? So let's say, and I am a user, so that it makes sense. Yeah.
No, it's not correct.
Why?
Because
Correct, because
there's
context
no
referencing.
there's nothing to reference it from. The
Thank
scenario
you
is
so
just
much.
on top.
Thank you so much. There's nothing to reference. You won't say, okay, which one do I pick? Do you get it now? So because of that, it will be confused actually. And even let's even look at, even for me now, I want to, because I've not seen something like this, but I know that they would address it one way. Let's see what's going to happen if you try to generate this step. Do you get it now? What is it going to use? Even for my own sanity, I want to see define step, right? So it's even using a given. Do you get it now? So technically, it's looking at it and say, okay, because it's the one starting first. Yeah, what means a given? Do you get it now?
Yes.
So, and I know it's basically maybe that's what is going to address it as. Do you get it now? Because normally we know that a given is the one that's going to start at the first, and if you are starting with an and, then technically that's a given. Do you get it now? Does it make sense to everyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let me. Okay, all right. I think. Okay, I need
Just
to.
have a question.
Yeah, please, guys.
Rebuild, rebuild, clean. What do they do actually? Because
So
they are strange to me.
as you can see from here now, right? I have this now. It's showing blue. Blue means what? So yeah, purple. This purple, it means what?
Meaning that they are not binding somehow.
It's not binding. But however, it's actually binding because I don't need to do anything. I've got everything here. But it's not binding because I have my feature file needs to be saved for it to bind correctly. And my step definition also needs to be saved because I've changed something. Do you get it now? So what I'm going to do is save. So saving does not change anything as well, right? The next thing I need to clean, right? I will tell you another thing that happens when you do clean, okay? So let's go and see, right? Because I think that's a good one as well. So let's do this and say open in File Explorer, right? So I'm going to bring my Explorer out. Okay, so if you can see my screen, so I'm going to go to the bin directory, right? So this is the bug, and this is .NET. At this point now, you can see here, right? So technically here, the feature files is already got the DLL, okay? It's going to be running the DLL already, right? So the DL is one that is executing, right? So it's already got it. So even if you change anything, it doesn't know that you've changed it. So by saying be clean, right? And you can see, let's say clean now. I'll bring it up again, and you can see what's going to happen. Can you see that? What did you see?
You remove old files. It's building
It cleans
Those are like
everything. Do you get it now? It cleans everything because now it's looking at, we are going to compile another DLL. Do you get it now? So the one that was there before, okay, let me ask you, when you're browsing internet, what does it mean? What can you relate to? When you are seeing the same thing and that content of that particular uh, website is already changed, what do you say is happening? And they'll say, can you do something so that you see the recent version? What do you need to say? They will
refresh.
not refresh.
clear cache or something.
Clear cache, right? That is it. That is the synonymous to what we're doing. It's already cached. Do you get it now? It's already said, oh, I already built the DLLO and don't care what you are doing. So, and if you don't kind of clean, now you've cleaned now. It wipes everything away. Now, when you now say build would now create another version of those files with your changes. Do you get it now? And those changes is one that will now reflect the true value or the true color of your code. So when it finishes, right, let's wait. I think I'm expecting, yeah, see, it now goes to white. And when you go to the file here, you will see that it's created a new version. This is what clean and build does. Right. Okay.
Sorry, can you just show me again how you got to that place? You opened
So
the login for.
not a place that you go every time. Do you get it now?
Yeah,
And
I
if
just want to know.
I would say that you don't need to go, but
Yeah.
sometimes you might also, if things are not working and everything, you might also, yeah, you don't do any harm by deleting those files as well. Anyway, so what you need to do, what I did, maybe you should even do it from the top anyway. So if you go to your solution folder, right, and you see open open folder in File Explorer. Do you get it now? Open folder in and I click on it, and it opens that folder. It's coming up now. So this is the folder, and I go into my project, right? And I go into the bin directory, and I go into debug. I also go into that .NET. This is the work. That's it.
Okay.
But even if I deleted everything in the bin directory, it doesn't do any harm for me, right? Because every time you rebuild, it will recreate it again, right? So it's like saying clear my cache. Do you get it now? And you can say, how long do you want to clear it for? So now, if you run, right? If you try to run, it might not see it. Yeah, because those files that it needs are not there again. So let's say run, right? Because I'm very sure it's not going to see the playwright anyway. It's taking a lot of time. So because the DLF for playwright has been deleted, yeah, I think it's still kind of run anyway. That's weird. Anyway, it's actually run, yeah.
It rebuilt it and run it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So if you go back, yeah, so I think that's what will happen, isn't it? If you go back here, right? Yeah, so the bin is already kind of recreated. Do you get it now? So that's what it does. Anyway, the run just rebuild everything, recreate it again. Anyway, so that's that's the reason. Yeah. So you don't, there's no deleting the bin directory anyway, right? Because at every run, you recreate it again, right? Isn't it? Okay. All right, for the sake of time, we're going to move forward, right? So now that is the features step, which I've kind of explained, right? So there's other parts in the features that we're going to discuss at length next week, right? So because we don't talk about background, scenario outline, but I want you to understand this, how they bind together when you move it around. So now, another thing, we're going to do this step by step anyway. Each line is kind of linked to a particular step, right? So if I say go to step definition, right, you will take me to that step, right? So technically, what this is saying now, even if I remove this, right, completely, and I do this, right, if this one runs, it just go to the step where I have navigate to login. So if I right click and I go to definition, right, it takes me to that particular method from here to here. That is what is executing, right? From here to here. And it doesn't execute the rest. It's not like it's going to go to the, it just execute this one only. So technically, it just means that each of these steps, right, has got their own step definition at the back. If you right click here and you go to step definition, right, and yeah, so this is the method, right, for that particular line from here to the end of it here. So that is that step that is being executed when that particular feature is called. Do you get it now? So for instance, if you want to update this particular step now, you just need to go in there and say, okay, go to the step definition, and this is the step. Let's say the login already kind of changed name, right? We're going to talk about this later anyway, so don't worry. So if you change this one to login and say, oh, developer said it's no longer not login, it's now sign in. You just need to go here and change it to sign in anyway. Don't worry if you don't get this one, you get it later. Okay, but one thing I want you to get here specifically, right, is to know that these steps, even though it's English, at the back of this, there's a code. This line, the code that's running at the back of that is this one. Don't worry about how this code come to, you're going to write a many. Do you get it now? Step by step. Now you know that for every feature step that you have, there's a code at the back. So now, for instance, now, if I want to say, then my name is displayed on the dashboard. Hopefully everyone understands this. This is now another step, right? So now to ask a question, what is it? Is it a when clause? Is it a then clause? Is it a given clause? And why?
This is a then clause. It's referring to the last
Is it
sentence.
then?
Thank you. Is a then clause because it's referring to the last one. Do you get it now? So now, why is she showing purple?
Because there's no
That's not been banned.
Related
Because
to
there's no step definition at all yet. So now for me to create a step definition for that, I will right click and I will say define step. Okay? I'll say define step. I'm going to do that again. Right click on that purple, right? And I will say define steps. When I do that, it open a pop-up for me. Hopefully you can see the pop-up. Can you?
Yes.
Yes.
So that pop-up, I think you might not see the full part of the pop-up because of the screen, right? So because I'm sharing my screen, sometimes it's difficult to see the bottom of that pop-up. Can you try out at your end, right? So it would have a button at the bottom, right, to say generate or copy, right? So 1 minute. So it's so big actually, so I can't see the bottom. Can someone do that and put the screenshot on the chart? Right. So so I can tell you what is at the bottom, right? You will see copy. No, maybe I will even send it. You will see copy to clipboard, create and cancel. Can you see that or not? At the bottom. Because it's on a different screen. I don't know why it's doing that anyway. Let me see if I can reduce it. No, I can't. Yeah. Okay. So if you guys can see it, please do give it a try. So click on copy to clipboard. Okay. Copy to clipboard. Okay. So when I copied that to clip, okay, this is another issue, right? I didn't put the D at the bottom. We're going to fix that later. So I've already copied that into my clipboard. I'll go into my step definition, right? And this is very, very important now. I try to use the process that you can understand, right? So the best process, if you know what you're doing, is to go to the last part of the then clause, right? And use this method and paste it, what you've copied in there. But sometimes, because these braces are very, very important, some people don't know. As a newbie, you don't even know what the braces is. So, because if you do a mistake and you paste it here, it breaks everything. You can see it's showing red underline. So you need to know where to paste it to. And my approach that I normally go through for newbies so that it's easy is to say, go to the top, right? Look for this opening, after the class is opened. Then, and you have the private, before the next given one, before it, put your cursor there, press enter, press to enter, move up, paste what you've copied, and that will do it for you. It will be fine, but it's only that it doesn't follow order. Do you get it now? But the first thing is for your test to work. Do you get it now? That is the first thing before you now understand that, oh, let me put then in a place. But it doesn't mean that it is wrong. You don't want it's just like you put everything. So let's be putting it at the top for now. Do you get it now? I'm going to do it again, right? Once you've kind of go here and you right click and you say generate step definition, right? You would copy to clipboard, right, at the bottom of that, and then go to your step definition where you want it to be pasted. And then
Do you click create first before copy to clipboard?
no, don't create. I will talk about create later. It's a different thing. Copy to clipboard only.
Okay.
Because the create will create another file for you, another step definition. We'll talk about that one later, right? But that one is when you want to create a new step definition class entirely. But this one, we already have one. We just want to append it. Okay, because we didn't finish our feature file, right? We want to now to add
Screenshot.
another one. Yeah.
There's a screenshot if you want to.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So let's look at it. Right. Okay. Okay, good. For those guys that did not see what I'm saying, okay, someone already put the screenshot. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let me bring that up. One minute is still not coming up. Okay, let's see. What is that? Okay, thank you. So yeah, so now this is what you have when you right click and you say copy, define, what's the right word now? Define step, isn't it? So let me, so that I don't confuse you. When you right click and you say define steps, right, you will see a pop-up like this, right? If it's only one step that is purple, you will see only one. If it's or two or three, you will see them, right? In fact, you can check and uncheck the one that you want anyway. But we only have one that is, yeah, that is purple. What you need to do is to click on copy to clipboard. Okay, copy to clipboard. Once you've copied that, go to your step definition. Right here. This is our step definition. And I said, best option, you see what we have here. There's open braces. There's under open braces. I said before this one, the last one, the one that open braces like this, right? Put your mouse at the top and put an enter key, right? Move up again. This is just for you to create a space that you can paste it in. Then paste what you've copied, right? And this is it. If you want to copy another one and you have another one again, do the same thing. At this time around, then is our most recent one. Do the same thing. Go up, paste what you copy for the next one. Do you get? I'm talking about should in case you now have another feature file, you generate it, you copy it again, you want to put it again, you do the same thing. I would advise that you always copy at the top. But just for new guys starting. But if you're already kind of expert in this, right? The best process is for you to paste it within your code, right? So this is a then clause. I will go to where the then clause is and I'll paste it, right? Don't worry about this. If you are new, don't bother doing this to get it now. But if you already know coding, so you just paste it to where you need to be. At the end of the then clause, you can paste it, or at the beginning of the clause. Because I have a then clause, I can put it here. So if it's a when clause, I would put it after the when clause, yeah, at the end, right? Or at the beginning of the when clause. So that, or if it's a given clause, right? I will put it either at the before the given clause or at the end of the given clause. The reason is that so that all my given will follow each other, and when will follow each other. As you can see, this is when, this another when, then the then will follow, and that is it. But whether semantically, syntactically, all of them are fine. So no one's going to say, "Oh, why do you put then at the top, or when you don't need to worry." It just make your code neater. It's not that it is semantically wrong. It's different from what we are saying before. Do you get it now? So I would say if you are new, just create some space at the top like that. Make sure the space is before this brace, right? Have a space. It's okay to put a lot of spaces so that you are sure, right? Then paste what you copy, and that's it. So we're going to talk about what you need to put that inside later. Then the next thing I want to talk quickly, right? So you can see now, yeah, it's still not binding. So what we can do is build, right? So, and that should bind. And a good question now is, let me wait for you to finish that. Okay, so that it shows white. Okay, it shows white now. So the question is like, I have made a blunder here, a typo. right? And I didn't put D. What should I do? Anyone? Before we wrap it up, what should I do?
You type
Go
D,
to
save
step
again.
definitions and
Type the
change it.
D, save it again, and clean and rebuild.
Sorry? Let's see.
I said you type the D to
Okay.
complete it, you save, then you clean and rebuild.
Okay, let's clean. Let's save, clean, and then rebuild. Does anyone think that will work or it's not going to work? Say it now before we finish.
You,
It's not
you have
gonna
to
work.
you have to affect the change in your step definition as well.
Exactly.
Thank you. You have to effect it as well in step definition. So where do I effect it? Larry, there's a noise coming from the background.
I'm sorry.
So, okay.
Right
All right.
click and go to steps and then change it.
Sorry?
Right click, go to step definition, change it there.
All right. Right click. Because see, it is not actually binding. If I right click, it's not. Let's say go to step. Let's try. It will be confused anyway. So can you see? So even let's say, okay, I think I click on define. Let's right click, go to step definition. See what it's telling me. It's telling
It's
me
not
that
defined.
it's not binding. So it won't go to anywhere because it can't find it. Do you get? So what do I need to do?
Go to your code and edit it manually.
Okay, I need to go to my step definition. Yeah. And then, okay, and you search for that particular step definition because it might be a lot here. Do you get now? You search for it. But fortunately for me, it's at the top. What do I need to do?
Edit it and then
Yeah, what
just
do I
put
do? Yeah?
the D. Yeah.
Where?
After the R.
On line 17.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah, after you put the D there, then you save it.
So if I do something like this, is this sufficient? Because someone is saying I should do this as well. So, but is this one sufficient or do I need to correct it here as well?
You have to correct it as well.
Any contrary opinion?
I think it's sufficient.
Okay, let's see anyway.
It's sufficient
Okay, why do you say it's sufficient?
because it is the then that is used to create the other code, the code underneath, the function underneath.
Not really. Any other suggestion why it is sufficient?
If you build it, if you clean and build, it will fix the bottom code.
Okay.
I just creating like a new stuff.
So this is it, is white, is binding, right? But this is still not kind of, yeah.
Because
But
of the
It's
spelling, there's no D there.
it's
but it's not,
independent.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe that is another way to look at it. It's independent, but it's not that it's independent. Whatever you put here does not matter. In fact, I can decide to rename this and put it like that. So technically, this is just binding to this, right? Anything at the top is the one that is binding with your feature file, right? And once it does that, the name of your method does not matter as long as the annotation is at the top, right? So it is fine. It's like saying that, yeah, I don't know so how to explain it. So I'm a Nigerian, right? Even though I'm in the UK, right, and I carry Nigerian passport, as long as I still carry the passport, I'm in Nigeria, no matter where I am. Do you get it now? So that is the thing. No matter if you put this one, right, and this particular clause, right, and you move it here, and you bring this one to the top, right, you've changed this order. Yeah, it means that when you say giving, right, and navigate, this code will be executed. When you say a then, yeah, then my name is this code at the bottom will be executed. So technically, the method name does not really matter, right? It just uses this annotation at the top to say, yeah, when you say this, execute the one immediately after it. Do you get it now? So whether there's a typo in the name or the name does not match, it doesn't really matter. It just you annotate it. When I say then, my name is displayed on the board. So this is what I want you to execute. When I say I navigate to the login page, this is the one I want you to execute. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm tempted to continue, but I want to stop here because I was thinking that I would still explain the feature files, right? What are these? What do they mean, right? So, but I think let's pause here, right? Just to reiterate what we've done now. We've looked into feature file, decomposition of feature file, and I want to say next week we're going to look into that in great detail. Some of those keywords are not here yet, right? I would explain how they use it, when do you use it, right? I will explain that. But one thing that you should have got here is like at the back of every line here, there's a step, there's a method of code that you are going to use to do that. Okay. So then next week we look at this feature file. So let's stop recording and then I'll take the question.